among the town's youth. Deep in Pinewood Forest, a tall, faceless man roamed. With unnaturally long arms and a black suit, he would stalk those who wandered into the woods at night and make them disappear forever. Some claimed he was just a myth, while others swore he was real. One night, a group of teenagers decided to test the legend. Emily, the bravest among them, led the way, accompanied by her closest friends, Michael, Chris, and Sarah. Armed only with their phone flashlights and a single torch, they entered the woods at midnight. Everything was eerily silent. Not even the wind blew. The moonlight filtered through the trees, casting unsettling shadows. The deeper they ventured, the stronger the feeling that someone, or something, was watching them. "I don't like this," Sarah whispered nervously. "Let's go a little further, then we'll turn back," Michael suggested. As they pushed forward, strange things began to happen. Long, thin handprints appeared on tree trunks. The air became dense, making it harder to breathe. Then, out of nowhere, Emily screamed. "We have to run. Now." She pointed into the darkness. The others turned, and froze. A tall, shadowy figure stood among the trees, staring at them. Slenderman. He had no face, yet they could feel his presence. His unnaturally long arms hung at his sides, and his silhouette merged with the trees. Panic set in, and they ran. But no matter how fast they moved, Slenderman was always there. He glided through the forest without taking a single step, effortlessly keeping up. Michael made the mistake of looking back. The moment he did, he let out a blood-curdling scream as he was lifted off the ground. "Michael!" Chris shouted, but it was too late. Michael's body vanished into the darkness above. The others kept running, but the forest twisted around them like a shifting maze. The trees seemed to move, changing the paths. Suddenly, Sarah tripped and collapsed, sobbing. "He won't let us leave. We're never getting out," she cried. Emily tried to pull her up, but before she could, long, slender arms wrapped around Sarah's wrists, dragging her into the shadows. Her scream was cut off in an instant. Silence fell again. Only Emily and Chris remained. They sprinted with all their strength until they saw a faint light ahead, an opening in the trees. But just as they reached it, Chris stopped abruptly. Emily turned to him, confused. Chris's eyes were empty, his expression blank. "Emily," he was here. "There's no escape," he murmured in a hollow voice. Darkness swallowed her vision. The next morning, search parties combed the forest, but there was no trace of Emily, Chris, or the others. The only thing they found was a tree, its trunk carved with strange symbols. No one could explain what had happened, but from that night on, anyone who entered the forest felt the same chilling sensation, that in the darkness, a tall, faceless figure was watching them. Jack had decided to escape the stressful life of the big city and spend some time at his grandfather's old farm. It was a place filled with childhood memories, where he had spent summers as a kid. But this time, it was different. Since his grandfather's passing, no one had lived there for years, and the buildings had begun to succumb to time. As Jack arrived at the farm, the sun was setting. The barn's wooden beams were rotting, the old grain silo's windows were shattered, and wild weeds had overtaken the house's surroundings. He inserted the key into the door and turned it. The door creaked open with effort. As he stepped inside, he took a deep breath, and the dusty air burned his throat. That night, Jack heard strange noises around the old well near the barn. It sounded like footsteps, but he dismissed it as the wind or a wild animal. However, the next morning, he noticed long, strange footprints in the dirt around the well. While rummaging through his grandfather's old belongings, Jack found a yellowed notebook. As he flipped through the pages, his astonishment grew. According to his grandfather's notes, the farm had been haunted years ago by a strange entity that came from the depths of the forest. It was a tall man, with disproportionately long arms and no face. Those who saw him never returned. According to the notes, the creature emerged at night, silently stalking its prey. As Jack read through the notes, he glanced out the window. In the distance, among the trees, he saw a tall silhouette standing motionless. It seemed to be looking at him. He squinted to see better, but the figure suddenly disappeared. That night, Jack couldn't sleep. The rustling outside and the whispering wind unsettled him. Just before dawn, he drifted into sleep, only to be awakened by the sound of a creaking door. His bedroom door was slowly opening. Jack's heart pounded as he got out of bed. He looked into the darkness but saw nothing. However, for a fleeting moment, a shadow moved inside the house. He recalled his grandfather's warning in the notebook, "No matter how far you go, it sees you." At sunrise, he decided to pack his things and leave the farm. But as he stepped outside, he noticed something chilling. The deep footprints had reappeared near the well. But this time, they led directly to the house. And the most terrifying part, another set of footprints stopped right outside his bedroom door. Jack jumped into his car and sped away. But as he glanced in the rearview mirror one last time, he saw it. Standing motionless among the trees, the tall, faceless figure was watching him. Suddenly, the car's engine stalled. Jack panicked, turning the key frantically, but the vehicle wouldn't start. He slammed his hands on the steering wheel, his breath ragged with fear. Then, from the side mirror, he saw something approaching. Long arms stretched from the shadows, reaching for the door. Jack let out one final scream, but his voice was swallowed by the darkness. When the sun rose, only an abandoned car remained on the dirt road leading to the farm. There was no sign of Jack. Don't forget to support my Mr. Adam channel for other stories.